Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Ascendant. This is a new game by Hapa Games. It just showed up on Steam. I believe it's also available on GOG, maybe other markets. I will link in the description below to the Steam page, and you can pick it up for PC, Mac, or Linux for $10. So I'm just going to jump in here. I don't need to show you the tutorial or anything. We start with two characters. We've got Memnon, or we've got Theseus. I'm going to start with Memnon. He is kind of more of the base kind of vanilla character, I feel. Theseus trades like a little bit of power for health, so you end up with more power, less health. If you're going to put that in like Isaac terms, he's more of like your Judas character. And I will kind of reference Isaac a lot, probably. Not to say that this is derivative of Isaac, but I feel like there's a lot of good parallels. So, this is kind of a side-scrolling roguelike, if that makes sense. And it will make sense soon if it doesn't already. So basically what we've got here is we play as this character. We've got kind of our sword, and we are going to basically fight our way through a whole bunch of rooms. So, on each floor, or the way they play out are as seasons, we have various things that will show up. So like sometimes we'll get offered a shop. I believe there's always the offer of a free item room, although sometimes I think you need a key to get into that. Explaining what's going on in the UI, if you look in the top left, at the very top, those things that are vaguely shaped like hearts, they are my health, hence being shaped like hearts. Below that, I believe, is my mana, which, let me see, I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, so there we go. So if I do that, then I can shoot those out. That's my mana, so that was nice. That just had health in it. Like at the end of each room, we're going to get... Okay, this is maybe a waste of a key, but I want to show this off. This is a shop room. So, you can see below my mana, I have keys and then influence. And influence is basically our currency. I can't buy anything because I don't have enough money for anything yet. It is very much like Isaac, where like finding keys is not always guaranteed, finding currency is not always guaranteed. So you will have runs where you will be able to go into the first shop and buy everything, and you also have runs like this one where I can't afford anything. So that's just kind of luck of the draw. Same thing with the items you get. Sometimes you will get really good items, sometimes not. There is a parry button. I'm just not very good at parrying yet. When an enemy gets that yellow line around them, that basically means that they're stunned, so they will take... you can basically like launch them in any direction at that point. And then of course up in the top left is my... or in the top right, I mean, it's my map. And you can actually turn it off. You can do room map, or you can do map, and it kind of defaults to doing... Oh, I need a key. Dang. So that kind of stinks. I need a key, but that's okay. We will just head to our boss. So you can see up on the map we do have a boss to go fight. So, I mean, that kind of covers the gameplay from a kind of a bare bones standpoint, of course, being that it is kind of a roguelike, or at least it has some roguelike elements. There's definitely a lot to this game. I have actually not fought this boss. I've done a few runs, haven't fought this one. And I got hit, so that already makes it more difficult than the other boss for the first floor. I don't know how many boss options there are for each floor. So, I also have kind of a bad habit of just like not using my magic. So, I don't know, maybe I'll use some magic here. Okay, we got like some mini versions of the Maw. Oh, yep, and I died. So yeah, that boss is actually much more difficult than the other boss variant that I fought. I will, of course, play another game, as I am not quite ready to stop discussing what's going on here. But yeah, so that's kind of how a normal game goes, at least at the level that I'm playing at. I know it says press start to join there. I would guess that means there's some kind of multiplayer. I have not been able to check that out, so I don't know. I would guess that it's only local, but I'm sure that info is on the Steam page if you are interested in checking that out. I'm only focusing on the single player stuff. So, with that, we will do another round here. So yeah, so after the boss, we would basically we would get an item, and then we would move on to the next season. So, or at least the next part of the season. I think next it goes, because I think this one was like early spring. I think next is late spring. And I do need to say, like, the way that the combat plays out feels really good. There's a lot of stuff where, like, if you're a certain distance away from an enemy, like you can see what I'm doing there a couple times, you can like quick dash towards them, and man does that feel good. It just makes the combat feel super fluid. And besides, like, enemies can be bounced into each other, stuff like that, which all feels really good. So yeah, I would say from a combat perspective, as far as like roguelikes go, this has like a much more complex. Ooh, yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that. It has like a much more complex battle system, I would say, than most. Also, I just wanted to mention, because you know, I'm throwing around the term a lot, and I know probably a lot of people are already saying like, oh yeah, another roguelike. Well, I know roguelikes have become kind of the flavor of the day on Steam, with like more roguelikes every single day on the market. That being said, I feel like this is probably probably the best one released so far in 2014, I would say. Not counting FTL, the Advanced Edition, because that already existed and was kind of just an expansion. But yeah, I'd say, like, as far as the gameplay goes, like, this does a lot of things different that I've not seen other roguelikes doing, and you know, that can't be like overstated, the value of that. Oh, I spent it and I didn't mean to. Okay, well, maybe I'll be able to forge something in the shop. I mean, I might as well go now. I spent the key. There actually oh yes, there's a little bit of influence in there. That's why you want to break pots. You can also actually launch pots into your enemies, which is nice. Okay, what can I get? Okay, looks like I'm healing. Sounds good to me. Okay, so head down. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what's going on from a gameplay perspective. From an art perspective, I also really like this game. It doesn't look like too many other games I've seen. In fact, if I was going to compare it to anything, this may seem like a bit of a strange comparison, but it reminds me a lot of the Forest Haven environment in Wind Waker. I don't know if other people are making that same connection or not, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Is I get that vibe of, like, it's just like a really warm environment, which is nice because, you know, we're doing all this battling and stuff. It's nice that it at least takes place in a nice, warm, kind of friendly seeming environment, obviously with the exception of the enemies trying to kill us. I think I might be able to take out them all this time. Oh man. The time frame for parries, which I tried doing there, is really small. You have to be pretty darn good to parry. And it's a pretty important skill also. Okay, so this is cool. When you get blessings, you can place it various spots. So I believe this is your mana, this is your weapon, and of course this is yourself. So I actually took a guess there that it would give me double jump, because it seemed like putting the cloud in your body would maybe allow you to jump, kind of like the Terraria thing there. So yeah, that is exactly what that did. So basically that means with each item you get, there's actually 3 effects, which is really cool, because it's going to keep you playing over and over to find them and try and to kind of figure out what the best effects of each one are for your play style, and also figure out just like what the best combinations of effects are in general, which is really cool. I find that to be a really interesting way of doing that. Yeah, so that's that. As far as like a music perspective goes, it's good. I think it sounds nice. I like a lot of the enemy sounds and stuff like that. Okay, so that gives me a power that I can actually use only once, and I'll use it here just to show it off in case I die in the next room, but so it just summoned followers for me. Improve my strength. Okay. So we do have like these mini game rooms, which are actually pretty cool, and I believe I haven't really won a mini game yet, so I'm not sure for sure, but I would guess that these kind of allow us to maybe get like some extra money. Yeah, and there will be another round of me not winning a mini game. I think I'll start up another round. I probably won't finish it out. As far as... So yeah, I unlocked stuff. There's a whole menu in the menu that shows you what you've unlocked and which effects of each thing you found, stuff like that. Maybe I'll play as Theseus once. Let's see. Yeah, so like from a sound perspective, I think a lot of the sounds that enemies make and a lot of the fighting sounds sound good. And I like the music, but I haven't heard a lot of variety in the music. I think there might only be like one track. Maybe that changes if you get to a different season, which I haven't managed to do yet. And speaking of seasons, based on that, I would guess it's probably like 8 levels, which is pretty good size considering, I mean, you've seen kind of the difficulty here. I have not been able to make it past the, I've not been able to make it past the first set of levels, so, you know, I'd say that it's certainly not an easy roguelike. It doesn't kind of hold your hand or anything. You know, it starts you off with some pretty hard stuff right from the beginning. That being said, I do kind of wish that there was maybe a little more like boss variety, as well as, you know, so I mentioned like the music variety would be nice, but I get the feeling that we've probably seen... Oh, that was really dumb of me. I wasn't thinking. I get the feeling we've probably seen all of the bosses for the first floor. And, of course, I haven't made it to the boss yet on the second floor, so I guess that's not too bad. But I'm just thinking, like... I think the game that this most compares to is probably Isaac. And Isaac has a pretty big boss variety on every floor. And maybe I'd just like to see a little more boss variety. But of course, you know, game's out, so I don't know if there's a plan of releasing like some extra content for it in the future. That's the nice thing about a game like this is that's always possible. But even so, I mean, you know, it doesn't have to have a ton of variety. I just imagine that I might get sick of like fighting just those 2 bosses before I get good enough to make it farther than that. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of personal preference at that point. It's my bad for not being better, right? But yeah, I mean, I think I don't have too much else to say. I'm trying to go over everything. I think that I've pretty much discussed everything. So, yeah, I think that's probably it. Like I said, as far as like roguelikes go this year, this has been by far, in my opinion, the best one released. It's super good. It's really fun. I'm having a great time with it. It's different. I think that is the biggest thing. If I'm gonna see more roguelikes hit the market, I want to see them do different things like this one does. And yeah, I think that is probably the best note to leave it off on. So like I said, in the description below you will find a link to the Steam page so that you can purchase this for yourself if you are interested. But with that, I think that is where we will wrap this up. So as always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you'd like to comment on. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos every single day, and if you liked my look at Ascendant, then please do consider clicking the like button, because that helps me out a lot, and I definitely appreciate everything you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.